Top TV, Truth of the People.
Yes, welcome back to Faith on Top. I'll be your host, Shem Ian, and today, we are going to have an amazing time together, and I'm going to talk to you about why we need to go to church on the Sabbath. I don't know if your Sabbath is on Sunday or it's on Saturday or whatever day that you've kept aside for your Sabbath. So I'm going to tell you the reasons why you should keep that day holy and why you should serve God on that day. Yeah, so the first reason why you should go to church on the Sabbath is because the Sabbath, which is maybe on your Sundays or on your Saturdays, is a peculiar sign from God. This is a sign that you belong to God, because God says in his books, in Exodus, that you should keep the Sabbath day holy. And because it's a sign to you for all generations, like for eternity. It's not going to change anytime soon. And then the second point, the second reason why you should go to church on the Sabbath is because it is the day of rest of God. Because you see, when God was creating, he created for 6 days. He did the work of creation for 6 days, and he rested on the seventh day. And then that's why, because you are a son of God, you are part, you identify yourself with him, you have to rest as he rested, because God rested on the Sabbath. So you also have to rest on the Sabbath. This is the day for you to rest from all secular work. Like, the only focus you should have on that day is him. Maybe you're going to worship, maybe you're going to fellowship with your fellow brothers and sisters. So you have to take this day off everything. This is not the day to go do your laundry. This is not the day to take your family out. This is not the day to visit your friends. This is not the day to go watch football, you see. Yeah, this is the day for the Lord. Like, just take the whole day, have it, like, rest from everything else and focus on God. Yes, and the third reason why you need to go to church on a Sabbath is because the Sabbath is the day of going to church. Yeah, I remember, if I've not forgotten my Bible well, Jesus used to go to church. Like, that day they were not calling it church, they were calling it synagogue maybe. Yeah, so Jesus used to go to church every Sabbath. And he used to go there to fellowship with his fellow brethren and maybe teach or preach. Yeah, and then so that takes us to the next reason why you should go to church, because another reason is because that's where you're going to be taught and preached to. So Jesus used to go to church, to the synagogue every weekend, every Sabbath, and then he used to teach. One time he was teaching in his hometown, and then he read from the book of Isaiah, and then you know what happened. Yeah, the people were offended about him calling himself the Messiah, and that led to whatever it led to, and now here we are. So always keep the Sabbath day. Always remember that you have that one day out of the 7 days. You have that one day for God. You need to get off everything. Focus on God. You have 6 days to do everything. 6 times 24, 144 hours to do your things. And but now you have only 12. I guess it's 12 hours on a Sunday, maybe on a Saturday. You take off everything. You don't go to work, you don't do your laundry, you don't go visiting relatives and friends. Like, you just focus on God. So these are some of the reasons why you should go to church on the Sabbath. So make sure you go to church, because in Acts chapter 2, somewhere in there, the Bible says that when they continued steadfastly doing, sharing in everything that they had been taught by the apostle. Paul had been teaching the people on how to do this. One of the things that they were teaching is about keeping the Sabbath first and sharing in good things and all that, in sharing in faith. And then in Hebrews chapter 10 verse 25 says, do not despise the gathering of brethren, as some of you or as some of us have done, some of they have done. So yeah, the Bible, when it was written, because the Bible was written for our reproof and correction, God knew that most of us will take the Sabbath lightly, maybe, and start doing our own things and replace the rest like say like we are going to rest on a Saturday or on a Sunday, but go do something else. So God already knew what is in the heart of men. So that's why he has to like remind us that we should not despise the gathering of brethren, because in the gathering is where your faith is started up. In the gathering is where you feel loved. You see, you are preached to, you grow spiritually. So never despise the gathering of brethren. And I hope to see you maybe on Sunday or on Saturday at your various churches. Yeah. Ciao. I've been your host Shem Ian, and this is Faith on Top.